I love that there's churches that are helping out those that are in need, literally opening up their doors when they're in an area where there's like people who are homeless, don't have any place to go, and they need to stay warm. Some people don't even have heat in their home for one reason or another. And some churches open up their doors and let them in. There's a lot of rescue missions that do the exact same thing. There is one hang-up at a church in Illinois. There's a Baptist church in Illinois that's been doing this, but the city came to them and said, listen, love what you're doing, but you don't have the right permitting. And so until you get the right permits and you're still allowing people to stay warm in your church when it's not church time, $750 a day. So they don't have the right permitting.
I can't.
I know.
Like, seriously, permits, we're going to get caught up in red tape when there's human lives at stake. Sorry, I'm going to get off my soapbox right here, but
I know. I'm not a political guy whatsoever. I don't get caught up in that kind of stuff. I just like pointing toward Jesus. But there was this one thing they said, a special permit we were granted back in 1969, that's still,
it's still relevant.
Yeah, it's still relevant. We do this every year. Why all of a sudden now? So I'm hopeful that a couple of things will work out, that this will be behind them. They don't have to pay those permitting fees or whatever it is that you call that, or somebody just steps up and said, listen, $750, I'll just take care of it for you.
Yeah, or somebody, in the office in which the citations or tickets, fines are going to be issued says, you know what, let's forget about this and move on. Just keep doing what you're doing, taking care of people.
Because right now, it's just way too super cold, especially in Illinois. I mean, come on, with the snow and everything that came through.
I mean, if we're complaining in the Carolinas and Georgia, I can't even imagine Illinois right now, like probably below zero. So let's keep them warm.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
There's this place in Alabama where they have all of the luggage that has been lost in eternity, and it shows up there, and so you can go and buy whatever in the luggage,
which is super cool, but I feel sorry for the ones that lost it.
We have an open mic that just came in through the My HISRadio app.
I was in the Marine Corps, and in 2008 when I flew to Camp Lejeune in North Carolina to actually go to training, that means we were going to be outside for the next 30 days for training. I had lost one of my sea bags, and they couldn't get it to me, so I went to training, and about 2 weeks into training, they found it and got it to me literally in the middle of a field in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, but I finally did get my bag.
I'm glad you got the sea bag back, and thank you for your service, by the way.
Absolutely, thank you for your service.
So grateful for you. We're hearing from Chris at 800-447-7234. What happened, Chris?
My sister went there about 4 years ago, and you actually don't get to open the luggage. You buy what's there. You don't, like I said, you don't get to see what's in it. You just buy the bag and pray you got something good in it, or you just got a bag of clothes.
I had no idea it was like that.
They may have changed it, but this was like 4.5 years ago she went, because they went to the beach. But yes, sir, they don't, because I heard Miss Carolyn talking about there may be a shoe department, a jewelry department, and all, but no, sir, what they do is you just buy the luggage the way it's sitting. You buy it there, it's on you.
Is that kind of like a storage building, because you buy the contents without actually seeing what's in the storage unit,
ma'am.
right?
Pretty much, yes, ma'am. You go in and you can buy as many bags of luggage as you want, but you can't open it until you actually leave the facility.
With my luck, I'll get a suitcase with old ladies' clothes in it. I'll look like great grandma.
And some of them old-timey pink shoes in there.
An open mic did come in on the My HISRadio app.
Good morning. Back in June, a group of us went on a mission trip to Tanzania, Africa for 10 days, and one of the guys that went with us, his luggage got lost on the way there, and he didn't get it back until the day we were leaving.
Here you go. Now you can go home.
I wonder what the weather was when he left to go to Africa and how warm it was there. Did he have to wear sweaters?
That's a good point. What time of the year was that?
Good grief.
Really? And then I wonder what he did on a missions trip. So he's doing stuff for Jesus.
Yes.
Over in Tanzania, and not have any of his luggage, which means a whole new wardrobe.
And no special deodorant or,
Oh.
the things that he's used to.
So it was a time of nice smells and joy. Melody said that they were on a missions trip at her church. And what happened?
They lost everybody's luggage, and I think it was in Slovakia is where we were going. But they lost everybody's luggage, and they didn't get it back until like 4 days into the missions trip. So our pastor put everybody on a budget and took them to the local market and said, okay, you guys can buy $50 worth of like one or two shirts and underwear and, whatever, toiletries. So they had something until they got their luggage.
How many people were there?
I want to say like 10.
Oh, my goodness.
10 or 12. Yeah, all of them. Not just one, but all of them got their luggage. Yeah, it happened.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
If there was snow outside of the high elevations of western North Carolina, we'd be running out the door to the grocery store to see if there is a chance there would be any bread and milk left.
And I don't know why we go straight for it. Now, if it's snowing, you can make snow cream, with the milk. So I understand.
I have no idea what that is. I'm pausing, and then Liz is like, what?
Oh, my goodness.
know
Rob
that?
has no idea what snow
I
cream
don't.
is.
Scott has a theory of what happens with the bread and milk.
Okay.
I think it's such a staple. So we use bread and milk from so many different things. And if the power goes out, you can still have milk and bread and, cereal and all that stuff. I don't know.
Cereal
But
when it's
staples?
cold?
Huh? I love cereal. Yeah, I can eat it anytime.
Back up a second. You had a theory of what they do with the bread and milk. They make something out of it.
Oh, the milk sandwiches.
Yes. Milk sandwiches. Isn't that great?
Milk sandwiches?
Oh,
I
yum.
almost forgot. How can I forget the milk sandwiches?
Yeah.
Do you mean French toast?
No.
Kinda.
It's
or
cold.
you can just dip some, bread and milk and have a sandwich.
Yeah, add a little bit of cheese, some ham.
Okay, I'm just saying. I'm not coming to your house for dinner.
It's not going to work. That whole thing about bread and milk started back in 1978. There was the great blizzard that happened. And in New England, people were trapped for so long, they wished they had the essentials of bread and milk. And so next time there was a big event, they ran out and got their bread and milk. So that was a thing back then in 78. And it still continues today everywhere.
And I guess because, what do you call it? Winter birds? What do you call it?
Snowbirds.
Snowbirds. So I guess because they've migrated, to the south, then word spread. Not that we get snow all that often, but every now and then.
It's nice when it does happen, though.
It's so
I
nice.
really like it.
My sister and I used to hike basically from our house to a corner convenience store every time it snowed, and we'd load up on snacks and drinks, and never bought bread and milk, though.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
This happened a couple of days ago. It's Rob and Lizz in the morning, his radio. And I don't know if you had the radio on at the point, I think it was it close to 9 o'clock?
I think so.
It was very close to 9 o'clock when all of a sudden our studio door opens up. It's one of our receptionists. The alarm is blaring as loud as it can because it's speaking and all this other stuff. The thing,
it's loud.
You wish you would have wore Depends. That's how loud this thing is, okay?
Scary.
Jake, one of our producers, is he jumps up. He starts running out.
Like a superhero.
Yeah.
Jump the camera. He runs out. There she is. She's standing there, and she is trying to turn off the alarm with a code. We have a passcode that she has to type in. Well, Jake had given her that passcode, well before. She wrote it down, but she wanted to keep other people from finding out what the passcode was.
Exactly. She wrote it.
Cryptically.
Yes. Where only she would know it, but she could not remember it.
On a little piece of paper that she had on her desk, and she could not remember in what order it actually went.
Isn't that something? That is so, wow.
I'm like, why would you? Jake was so funny about it. What did you say to her? You said something to her. What did you say?
I was like, I told you, you wrote it down. You wrote down the password. And she was like, yeah, but I wrote it a different way, so if somebody took it, they couldn't know what it is. I was like, you have to remember it.
You wrote it down for you, though, and to help you remember.
Right.
But she wrote it so out of the way. So
now, in her defense, Usually there's somebody here before she gets here.
Yeah,
So she
yes.
never, very rarely has to put in a passcode to get in the building because we keep it armed when we're here.
Well, obviously, because, we're the only ones kind of here at certain times of the day.
Yeah, just like at home. You probably arm your doors or something like that
Right.
when you're asleep, if you have an alarm. That's what we do around here. So it makes you think how you save and remember your passwords. Scott has a technique that he uses.
Right. There's a word and a series of numbers that I use in just about every password that I have to help me remember what the password is.
The
It'll
numbers
always
are
trigger
different,
me.
I would
The
imagine.
numbers are different, but
Okay.
there's a common word.
Okay.
And I won't share it
But
because
on-
it's secret.
I'm
But on
thinking it's
different-
his wife's name.
Oh, gosh, don't do that. But on different
Daughter?
websites, it'll say, okay, you can't put the characters. If you put the word, the number, and then I like to throw in some characters.
I do the
like
same thing.
random-
Yeah,
But
I do
some
too.
don't want you to do that. Well, no characters or no numbers, or it has to be so many capital letters. So it's constantly changing. So how do you keep up with it?
For me,
My favorite thing is forget your password, click.
You know,
Because I sometimes
right?
will do that.
because they give
Thankfully,
you
there's
this
an option.
They give you this strong password, and you're like, "What's this? And how am I going to remember this? And how can I copy and paste it?"
Yeah, it's like 24 characters long.
Yeah, I have a document on an Evernote that I have locked. I know the password for that one, but I have all my passwords in that. And here's what I do: I write a full sentence
Oh, sure.
for my passwords, and they're different sentences depending upon what the thing is that I want to get into.
Yeah.
It's
Good
a
idea.
full sentence where I have periods, and I'll give you this one trick. For the letter S, I use a $.
Oh, yes.
So I'll use that for characters.
And that makes total sense.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody that I know, nothing immediate, no immediate family, nothing like that, but somebody I know keeps all of her passwords in her wallet. And I'm like, seriously? Like, really?
That could be taken.
That could
yeah.
be really bad because you've now given them the password and your PIN to your debit card that's also in your wallet. So
Oh, wow.
let's not do that.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
So I was reading something about the things that we spend our money on. The title is, and some parents don't like this word, the word dumb. I think it's how you would use it. You don't
Oh,
use it
sure.
about somebody.
Right.
So this says dumb things that we spend our money on. Okay, so it's kind of silly things. Like I was reading that online shopping, a lot of people are overpaying on Amazon.
Well, because you think that you're getting the best deal because on Amazon Plus it can be here like the next day or whatever. But I will, if I want to find something, I look on Amazon and then I price compare to other sites. I get free shipping on Amazon, so I have to take that into consideration as well. But I will take the cheaper of the two.
And then groceries. They say we pay way too much on groceries or we're overpaying. And I think that's because there's some sites that you can go to and apps that you can download that if you share with them what you bought with a receipt, you get some cash with that.
Is that Ibotta? Is something
My
like
wife
that?
uses that one.
Okay, and I use Flip. And so if there's something like if we want to splurge and have steak for dinner, I'll go on Flip and see who has it on sale, and then that's where I'll go to get it.
This is one that is really intrigued me, and that is eating out, because we don't eat out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's rare that my wife and I or kids go out somewhere to eat. Very rare. However, here's something that says that you can get paid up to $140 a month just to eat out, but you've got to fill out some survey on participants of this one app. And then if you fill out that survey, they give you $5 and you can earn up to $140 just to eat out.
Well, and you can also be an influencer at some of these restaurants if you really like it, and you can post, what you've eaten and do that kind of thing, get free meals.
So while they say the dumb things we spend our money on, these are just perks for using things.
Yeah, it's kind of to get around them. But, I mean, do we need the frou-frou coffee every single day?
Scott does. I mean, you should hear the order he makes when he's at a Starbucks.
I avoid Starbucks because I don't have the long, fancy frou-frou coffee to order. It's like black. And they're like, is that all you want? What? What?
You sure? You don't
Black
want
coffee.
any additives?
Listen, last time I went and bought a cup of coffee at one of these kind of places, the guy looked at me and said, I've been waiting for somebody just to order coffee. I said, why? He goes, because we got a brand new machine here, and it grinds it one cup at a time. because not a lot of people seem to just order coffee. I do.
Yeah.
I go to a fancy place and just order coffee. And so the urn of coffee goes to waste. And so when somebody orders a cup of coffee, they have to brew a whole urn just for a cup of coffee. Not at this one place I went to. He was just like, yeah, watch this, dude. And he pushes a button, and then, 90 seconds later, I get my cup of coffee.
Wow. So just a cup at a time. It's kind of like a K-cup in a way, but it's a full.
It grinds the beans immediately.
Much
and
fresher.
really fast.
Yeah. So if you're only ordering black coffee, what is it, $1? $2? Something like that? Is that how much?
Well, it's more than $1.
Yeah.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
Shia LaBeouf. I don't know if that is a name that just comes to the top of your mind of, I know who that actor is.
Oh, yeah. He was in Transformers. He was on a Disney show back in the day called Even Stevens. And then in Holes. That's where I kind of first got to know him. My daughter loved that movie.
He recently sat down and he started talking about his faith.
As an artist who creates art, I found myself in a godly position often, right? Where I was in charge. And it made it hard to believe in God because it felt like my managerial skills are what are going to amount to a fulfilled existence.
Yeah.
When all of my designs failed, when all of my plans went out the window, when my life had led to serious infliction of pain and damage on other people, I threw up my hands like my plans are garbage and I don't want to be here anymore. I know now like my God was using my ego to draw me to him, was drawing me away from worldly desires. It was all happening simultaneously. The gospel gave me this invite to just let go.
He found a relationship with Christ, I believe because of a movie that he was in.
Right. It was, I think, set in the Catholic Church, I believe. I haven't seen it, but I know a little bit of background about Shia. He was raised in an unconventional way, I'll say, to say the least. I think in a commune, things like this. Had a hard childhood. I think there's a movie about it, about his childhood living with his dad. And so to see where he went through some hard stuff even as a young adult, and to see where, the path that he is on now is good to see.
It is. And here he is able to talk about, this is the way I used to think, and now I have truth, and I know Jesus, and I have a relationship. And here he is able to talk about it in the platform that he has.
Right. And the platform is huge. In Hollywood, you don't hear that an awful lot, but it's good to hear from Shia.
There's more and more that are starting to step out.
Right,
it's so good to see that more and more are stepping out and being a little bit more bold, and which encourages me to do the same, to be bold in my faith and tell others around me that Jesus is real and can make a difference in lives.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
They loved Darshan. Darshan was just one of the gems of the earth, 80 years old and passed away. And so they put him in the ambulance and they were taking him off to a place where he was going to have his last rites. And so the family starts to gather in the home, and more family and friends are coming together to support each other. They miss him dearly. They're crying. They need some comfort. They're there for each other. All of a sudden, they just get this telephone call. And they say, you're not going to believe this. The ambulance hit a pothole. Darshan's alive. The ambulance hit a pothole, and he came back to life. They literally went from where they're going to go for the last rites to a hospital. And the hospital's like,
He's
sure
fine.
enough, he is okay.
Yeah, he wasn't exactly 100% fine. They had to run some tests and kind of see what was going on. But Darshan is 80 years old. And, of course, they thought, okay, it was just his time, right? Passes away. A pothole. I feel like that could happen on my way to church every single Sunday.
There's a lot of potholes?
One of the roads that you have to change lanes because the potholes change lanes. And if you want to keep your car in alignment.
That's funny.
Yeah. And we were on that road last night. My husband and I were taking the trash off. And I had a Yeti and it had my water in it. He hit one of the potholes. It goes everywhere. And I'm, yelling out the name of the governor. You got to fix these roads.
That's like Scott. Scott's neighborhood has a lot of potholes. It's your neighborhood, right? It has a lot of potholes.
It's near the downtown of the town I live in. There's one particular street that is nothing but potholes, but it's like Liz said. You drive down it and you have to kind of slowly meander around some of the bigger potholes And it's so funny. They even have one of those flashing slow down signs. It's like nobody's going fast on this road because we're all slowing down trying to dodge the potholes.
Like, just take down the sign and fix the pothole, please.
Right.
But to hear that the ambulance hits a pothole and then this guy is like, hello.
So I wonder, what are the paddles that they put on, to bring you back?
Yeah, paddles.
Okay. Were they doing that at the same time?
That's what I was thinking, yes.
That they hit the pothole?
No,
And then it was
he was pronounced dead. He already passed away, according to the doctors. So they weren't working on the guy. They were transporting him.
Wow.
And hits a pothole, and he's like, hello.
You know what?
What am I doing in here?
Favorite pothole, they're going to, put a flag in there with his name on it.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
Falling in love over the waffle fries. It's a story for the ages, a love story for the ages. That happened to Azim and Sarah. They work at Chick-fil-A in Durham, and they fell in love. They were, coworkers, and he would see her over the French fries and sort of make googly eyes at her. I know. I think it's so cute. He would be like, "Hey, how you doing?" And so they ended up dating, and they've been dating for a couple of years. So this is the cutest thing. They wanted to throw a New Year's Eve party, and Azim was the one that was kind of planning everything, and she just had to show up.
Coming.
Yeah, and so he's hiding behind a door. It almost looks like a garage door if you watch the video of the engagement. So the garage door slowly opens. He's there on his knee with the ring. She turns around in her beautiful dress and all her New Year's Eve apparel. She turns around and now they're engaged.
Wow.
And they're still working together.
Quite the scream of excitement.
I know, right? So that's exactly what just about every woman sounds like when they get engaged. Okay, so they say that working together, because they've been working together so long at Chick-fil-A, they've gotten to know how each other deals with adversity and just different things that may come up even in a relationship. Maybe because I'm not going to say that their relationship is perfect. No one's is. So even if they're having their little squabbles or their little things, they've learned how to work together and get through it.
That's so beautiful.
And I think I'm not a big proponent. My mom and dad worked together for a good long while.
How'd that go?
I think from time to time it was great. But my dad was a very, his love language is touch, And so not appropriate at work to go get a hug from your wife. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or even kiss her on the cheek. And so I think that was something that my mom had to be like, okay, you're going to need to stay in your lane while we're at work.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
So here's the thing. There's Super Bowl parties happening. You might have a Super Bowl party that you're going to or hosting. Here's a way that you can be a superstar, a rock star at your Super Bowl party. Are you ready for this? I know how you can get a big name, a Super Bowl type name to your party. You know a guy by the name of Travis Kelce? Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Kansas City Chiefs.
Mm-hmm. He dates some singer. I'm not really sure. But...
Yeah, something about Swift. Yeah. So you know who we're talking about. We can get him to your party.
Well, we can't get him to your party.
I know how.
You can get him to your party.
I know how. We can get him to your party. Travis Kelce. I know how. And here's the thing. This sounds cheap to me. $1,500. Now, I don't have that in my wallet.
No.
I just can't fork something like that over. But listen, if you get together with a bunch of friends and say, we can get Travis Kelce to our Super Bowl party, it's only $1,500. And here's the thing. Travis Kelce can go to a lot of Super Bowl parties.
He can. He can go to quite a few.
Yeah.
Just as long as they're in the same kind of area, because he does have to travel.
Because it's an impersonator.
Isn't that crazy?
Somebody who looks just like him.
Is it
offering
his brother?
$1,500.
I wonder if it's his brother because Jason just retired.
He's like, I'm out of here.
Right?
He's like, forget it.
It's too
I'm
cold
done.
this weekend. I am out.
I am done. But Travis Kelce, whether they make it to the Super Bowl or not, you can have the impersonator that looks just like him.
Can you imagine?
Come to the party, $1,500.
You just happen to be born looking like somebody else, and you get to make $1,500. I'd have a hard time charging that, to tell you the truth.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you.
$1,500.
Okay, so Liz is going to be $5,000.